The 5 most interesting experiments in human history. Countless inventors, scientists, etc. throughout human history. He carried out many experiments. Some of them are strange, some of them are funny, some of them are admirable, some of the experiments are surprising and even frightening. Here in this news, we have selected the 5 most interesting experiments that have been discussed the most and therefore engraved in memory. Delgado Experiments. Jose M. R. Delgado is one of the scientists who has made his name known to the whole world with his interesting experiments. And one of these experiments began in 1964, when he believed that by installing electrodes in the brains of animals, he could direct them with a controller and control their behavior. First, he worked on a bull. He prepared like a matador, placed electrodes on the bull's brain, and put the experiment into practice. He entered the arena with a red cape in one hand and a remote control in one hand. The bull was released. The bull, freed from its ropes, began to run towards Delgado, who was walking around the arena with rapid body movements. Despite the horrified looks of the spectators, Delgado managed to stop the bull by pressing a button on the remote control in his hand. When he pressed another button of the controller, the bull started to run away from him. Thus, his experiment has been successful. Many other scientists have conducted experiments to refute Delgado's experiment, but Delgado did not stop and carried out new experiments that showed that he could stretch monkeys, make cats aggressive, and these experiments were also successful. Delgado's experiments paved the way for many developments, such as the ability to cure certain diseases with electrical stimulation in the brain, the ability of people with disabilities to communicate and use computers, and the ability to control prosthetic organs. The Stevenson Experiment. Another important scientist who studies animal behavior and behavior change based on learning. J. Reader. Stevenson. Stephenson's experiment on monkeys is based on the banana fear system. Stephenson, who puts 5 monkeys in a cage, also creates a pressurized cold water device that can soak all the monkeys in the cage. He also hangs a banana in the middle of the cage and places a ladder under the banana. When one of the monkeys goes up the ladder and tries to get the banana, the pressurized water system is activated and all the monkeys in the cage are soaked with cold water. Although the monkeys did not give up immediately, after a while, when one of them tries to take the banana, the others start attacking him. December, and over time, all of the monkeys permanently stop making moves on the banana. Stephenson later begins to replace the monkeys one by one. Every newly arrived monkey is attacked by other monkeys when he wants to get the banana, and then the monkeys stop trying to reach the banana. At the end of the experiment, all the monkeys who were at the beginning of the experiment and exposed to cold water changed. There are no monkeys left in the cage who have tasted cold water. But still, the monkeys continue to guard the banana and block the monkeys who are trying to get to it. Gender Reassignment Experiment. John Money planned an experiment to recreate the sexual identity of David Reimer, who had problems urinating from birth, was circumcised by burning his penis when he was just 6 months old, and his entire penis burned during this practice. Money did not support Reimer to have a penis again. He asked her to have a vagina operation. According to Money, although Reimer came into the world as a man, he could also learn about his female sexual identity. Reimer did not undergo vaginal surgery during the first phase of the experiment. However, until the age of 10, the girl was forced to play with children's toys and was dressed in pink dresses. Moreover, she was subjected to many psychological experiments related to sexual identity differences. Reimer attempted suicide for the first time when he was 13 years old, had his breasts removed, and underwent penis surgery, which grew under the influence of hormones in the following years. When he reached the age of 38, he committed suicide as a man with 3 stepchildren. The Third Wave Experiment. This social experiment on authority, which has also been the subject of films such as Die Well, was conducted by Ron Jones. In the experiment, the place of fascism and the possibility of its emergence in societies that have internalized democracy were investigated. Some of the students studying at Cubberley High School were informed that they were special and could exercise authority over other students, and were taught the Nazi salute. Students who were convinced that they could have power with discipline and participation created their own slogans and logos in a very short time. Then they began to mistreat students who were not from their own group, to exclude and despise them. After a while, Meanwhile, the experiment, which goes towards an uncontrollable point, is still 4. It was terminated during the day, the Stanford Experiment. In 1971, psychologist Philip Zimbardo was conducting an experiment at Stanford University to investigate the effect of prison conditions on prisoners and guards. In the experiment, where it is aimed to reveal the causes of the ill treatment suffered by prisoners, healthy, drugs, etc., 24 subjects who have not used substances and have no criminal record are selected. None of the subjects had ever been in prison before. In the experiment, which will last for 2 weeks, the subjects are divided into 2 to play the roles of prisoner and guard by lot method. Subjects who will take on the role of guards are given khaki-colored clothes, mirrored glasses to prevent eye contact, and wooden batons. In order for the experiment to be realistic, Zimbardo asked for help from the police. The subjects who will play the role of prisoners are taken from their homes by the subjects who play the role of guards with the support of the police. 12 subjects arrested for alleged armed robbery are brought to the prison laboratory established at the university by police vehicles. Zimbardo himself took the role of prison director. Standard prison protocols such as search, decoy, photographing are applied to the detainees upon entry. Prisoners will no longer be addressed by their first names, but by the numbers given to them. The first day of the experiment is quite calm. On the second day, unexpectedly, the subjects in the role of prisoners revolt and barricade themselves behind the doors with bunks to challenge the guards' command. Against the rebellion, which is not on this account, the subjects in the role of guards also take action, unaware of their responsibilities, and fire canisters on the rebellious prisoners. The experiment starts to follow a course other than expected from the second day. The subjects are detached from reality even though they know that they are pretending. While the guards are developing various methods of torture, the prisoners are gradually starting to cringe and fade away. The unity between them, the togetherness decays. Psychological disorders and behavioral disorders occur. Try 6. On the day, psychologist Christina Maslick visits the prison setup. The 50 or so observers who watched the experiment did not notice the torture taking place in the prison, but Maslick ensures that the experiment is stopped. Perhaps the most interesting aspect of the incident is, while the early decoupling of the experiment made the prisoners happy, it supposedly caused unrest among the guards.